Unfortunately, you'll have to forgive me. Some of these film clips are... I deleted probably over 1,000 film clips from my computer recently. I grabbed a lot of these off my Instagram, so the quality of them will be a little lower, but I'm going to be making a video about my sniping style in Destiny. So this is my personal view on sniping. Everything is my opinion, but it may come in handy for you. So I prefer the mid-damage snipers, 1,000 yard and longbow. Those are the most common right now. With still Pierce and LDR, they're kind of behind them. Essentially, they're all the same in my opinion, and the determining factor on which one I would use would be the scopes and perks. The most common scopes used are short gaze, ambush, long view, SLR-10, and the view tac. Short gaze seems to be the most desirable scope, but my favorite, honestly, is the long view SLR-10, and that's mainly because that's what I really began sniping with on my Her Benevolence. Short gaze, ambush, view tac, they all should be the lowest zoom at 4.9 times, and the long view is at 5.2 times magnification. Ambush will actually take away aim assist, whereas others add aim assist, and the long view SLR-10 actually adds the most. So really, just use whatever scope you're comfortable with, and then all aim assist really is how your reticle slows down when on an enemy, and will kind of drag with them when they move. So some people prefer high aim assist, some people don't. It's whatever. Everybody has their view on what a god roll is, so I'm not really going to get into that. My personal sniper I use right now, which is a longbow, has my favorite scope, longbow SLR-10, partial refund, which is kind of useless, quick draw, which is amazing for my playstyle, and outlaw, which is a great perk as well. I also have a 1,000 yard with really good rolls also, but the quick draw, pertains to my playstyle a bit more. And my 1,000 yard actually will spawn with 12 shots total, and I get 5 per box. And this is done through my Twilight Garrison, which has special ammo, and then boots that give me sniper ammo, and then skip rounds on the sniper. I mainly played a hunter for a long time because I loved quick draw, but with the recent nerfs I've been playing a Titan lately, and I seem to be playing even better. I hated not having quick draw on my Titan, but running my longbow with primaries with quick draw, such as Hawk Moon or the First Curse, I feel like I'm on my hunter again in year 1. Alright, so that was that portion of the video, kind of just a little small explanation about the snipers. I'm going to start getting into my playstyle and little tips on sniping. Hitting headshots 100% of the time is great, but it's really hard to do as a human. And this is why my favorite perk is quick draw. I would rather pull my primary out and finish off an enemy versus wasting a second sniper shot. And people will always dwell on body shots, but hey, you're alive, they're dead, and it's a bit more in depth than just slide shotgunning. Another simple tip, of course, I'm sure most of you do this already, but don't keep your face buried into your scope. Be sure to scope out for a quick second and check your radar. Moving on to sensitivity. Having a lower sensitivity will make you more accurate, but your movement reactions overall will be a bit slower. In my point of view, if you can snipe on 10 the same way you can snipe on 1, the 10 sensitivity player will be a better overall rounded player. So I would suggest to people to up their sensitivity. I'm not talking going from 3 straight to 6, 7, or 10. I slowly upped mine from 3 to 6 over a few weeks. A big thing that helps with sniping is knowing the head level of people. Now, this is especially great for trials. If you can get to sniping lanes first and be scoped in, ready to snipe, and once you get to know maps, you can use points on the walls behind you as references to people's heads, or even you can look at your teammates real quick and see what their head level is. The next tip is somewhat of a counter to the last tip, but the last tip's still good, but I don't suggest casually strafing to the side of a snipe lane when you already know someone is scoped in. Unless you're straight up better than that player, they're already at an advantage. So this tip isn't just for sniping, it's just for gameplay in general, and that is to slide around corners, so the enemy will have to readjust. This is easy for me with being able to use one of my elite controller's paddles for sliding, and then I can be aiming while I'm in the middle of my slide, but it could still easily be done with a normal controller or if you play claw. You know, it's not the easiest thing to master. I haven't mastered it yet, but it's just a good habit to get into. Next thing, I guess people call this drag scoping, and this will kind of relate to quick scoping. And if you aren't already sort of used to it, it will take some getting used to. So the thing is, try and get used to where the middle of your screen is, and put the enemy's head or body there without scoping in. Scope in real fast, and if you're on their head, cool. You got an easy quick scope headshot montage. You should be able to tell within a few milliseconds if you're going to get the reticule on their head or not. Now this is how I feel I snipe a lot of times. I will zoom in real quick, and I can tell right away if it will be a hit before I shoot. Now if the reticule isn't on them, you'll notice I won't be moving for a split second while I'm thinking in my head about the angle and the direction to move my analog. And a lot of times it's a body shot, but I'll get headshots as well. And what stops the headshots is my timing in which I believe my reticule will be on their head versus when I decide to pull the trigger. So let go of your analog here so you don't keep dragging your scope off into the distance. If you want to take a second sniper shot, that's fine as well, but this is why I love quick draw. Let's whip out my Hawkman real quick, save the sniper shot, and finish them with the primary. Quick scoping is really just fancy sniping. I mean, it kind of relates to what I previously said about drag scoping. The main thing with this, the same thing, is putting the enemy in the middle of your screen, scoping in real quick, and shooting. Trying to do this on an enemy who sees you and is strafing is a bit more difficult. It's much easier when an enemy's movement is predictable and you can lead the quick scope. So quick scoping a self-revive warlock, those are pretty easy because they're staying completely still. And if you know where the middle of your screen is, you can get the reticule on them. Or quick scoping just teammates who get revived. Or if it's an idiot shotgunner who just rushes you straight on, those are easy to hit in the head too. And if someone tries to blink at you, those are fairly easy to quick scope because you can easily predict their movement. Counter revive sniping. A lot of people like to revive their teammates while standing still out in the open, then trying to push them out the way or sliding into them. Yeah, this does work most of the time, but I believe my method to be much more effective in the end. Always, of course, whether you are sniping or not, revive your teammates while you are not exposed. The enemy will be standing still, scoped in, trying to get that easy revive snipe. So what I suggest is reviving your teammate while you're in cover, of course, and then popping out right as they res, and then snipe the enemy. You should have plenty of time to line up the shot before your teammate loses their invulnerability, and the enemy will be too busy aiming at the revive, so it should be an easy kill for you. Your teammate is alive, and now the opposing team is down one person. Jump sniping. Everyone always asks how I hit jump snipes. And the thing about jump snipes is there is a strong mixture of skill and luck in this. And that skill and luck percentage will teeter-totter based off of distance. If it's really close, it'll be like 90% skill, 10% luck. If you're getting farther away, 60-40, so on. And this is the same thing with no scopes. The only thing that I have seen somewhat consistent, and I do get a lot of shots with this, is, of course, knowing the middle of your screen, lining up the enemy with that, and quick scoping at the top of your jump. The other inconsistent method is when you're falling. You will have to aim lower than their head, and depending on the direction you are falling, you'll have to aim slightly left or right. Sniping out of a blink jump is going to be much more difficult since you are hindered by the blink delay. You'll basically be on the ground by the time you can shoot, so if you want to blink snipe, you're going to have to jump off something. Now, ever since I've been on my Titan, I have been able to hit a lot more consistent jump snipes. You'll see in these last previous couple clips that I was just playing where this Titan's not playing, I'm just messing around, doing like 360 quick scopes in the air, trying to mess around, get the see if I can get the angle for a headshot. Unfortunately, I was only able to get body shots, but I mean, you could see that it was consistent though. I was getting a lot of body shots. Sadly, with this film clip, it didn't record right on my Xbox DVR, and I wasn't recording on my Elgato, since this was like the first game, but the person we were running was nice enough to record it for me. So, kind of analyzing this clip, you'll notice I blink to the left. From the right side of the hallway, I blink to the left. The reason I did this was so I could see what was going on out there. Now, you can sit down in a corner, dance around a corner, pull out a sword, look around the corner, but I like doing this. And I'll do the same method with my Titan. I'll garrison to the left and then continue skating across the hallway. So I do that to analyze the situation. I see all three are hard scoping. So what I'm going to do is I start from the far left of the hallway, slowly strafing out to the right, sniping them, challenging them one at a time. And it's not the best idea, of course, to slowly strafe out, but luckily I was the better player. And also the fact that I was able to blink to the left, I saw about head level where I would need to put my scope beforehand. So strafing out wasn't too big of a deal since I had the shot lined up as well. Kind of analyzing this film clip, this is what I'm talking about earlier when I said to revive your teammate while you are in cover, and then popping out and sniping the team. Usually you want to deal with 3 people. You don't have to deal with one person most of the time. All 3 of them were trying to. Well, the shotgun guy was rushing, but the other 2 people were most likely scoped in on the person being revived, so they were easy to snipe. Getting these 3 easy headshots for me. Notice how each of my shot happens. This first shot, I zoom in, I stop. I'm thinking in my head, how I need to move my analog, boom, headshot. The recoil of the first shot kind of moved it up for the second shot to be easy. Got him down, and then I moved down to the warlock. You notice I moved down about head level, I stopped for a second because that's how I felt in how much movement I needed to line up the shot, and it was perfect. So then all I had to do was move the analog to the left and then just shoot right across his head. Now I can get probably more detailed stuff, but this video is already 12 minutes long, so I made a post on my Instagram for some guys or you all to ask if you had any questions. All the questions were mainly how to quick scope and jump snipe and all that, which I explained in this video. One good question I see from Tate_Shoal11: knowing good opportunities to turn around and snipe at someone chasing you. Typically do that around a corner after you turn a corner and you say you blink forward or Titan skate forward a bunch and get some distance, turn around, make sure you're by cover, and then snipe them. Someone else asked, Dominic_Cerezo, what's the best way to choke people and make a 1v3 into 1v1 moments for the 1v3 clutch? Well, I have a whole video of how I did 2 entire trials matches, 1v3s, so I would suggest going to watch that. Best thing to do for these situations is you just got to try and separate your enemy. You just got to keep running until you find that opportune moment, or there's those few seconds you're able to turn around and kill them real fast, but still able to get away and get back in cover. I had another question from Christian Jeffries: staying calm, an easier way to know where to put ADS for head level. Staying calm, that's up to you. Knowing where to put your reticule for head level, you can go into maps and pick a line on a wall that you think is head level, and then just see if it's head level when an enemy walks by, or you can use as a teammate walks by, just use their head level as a reference real quick. King Corday and Gizmo's Girl both asked a similar question: how to snipe when you're being shot at like a Mida tool. This is a bit more of a difficult thing to do. The best advice I could give you in a situation like this is make sure you are next to a wall or cover so you can get out real fast. A Mida will 4-shot you if their shots are perfect. So you'll have to be able to know when to back out. And it's if you can't get the kill, it's best just to back away. If they shoot you 2 times, you got 2 more shots to either hit that snipe or back out. So make sure you can get back into cover real fast. Don't try and snipe while you're just sitting out in the open and giving them a free kill. To try and actually snipe them when you're getting hit by a bullet, something like the Mida tool or a pulse rifle, you can try and time their shots and shoot in between their shots, or you can compensate for the reticle bounce and aim lower, like right below the chest, but like still above their stomach. A lot of times when I used to do like sweats, people in their shots were just on point, and immediately when they saw you, they could hit you with their gun. And I was having trouble sniping, getting headshots with my benevolence. And to compensate for this, I actually ended up aiming down lower, about their chest level. And whereas they'd shoot me because these are good players. Their shots are on point, and the bounce will just move my reticle up to their head and give me a headshot. So to end it, I'm gonna end this video with Swiggity Loves Destiny's question: how do you fucking hit every single shot on rushing shotguns like they 2 feet away from you, and you fucking quickscope / no scope / blink jump shot them 10 out of 10? I hit 3 out of 10. Teach me, bro. This can't really be taught too well. Best thing I can give you is this video of advice and tips on how I play. And it just takes a lot of time and practice and forcing yourself to snipe, even though you might not be doing well. You won't be playing well, but still just keep pushing through and forcing yourself to snipe. I think a lot of people fail to realize that I have been playing since kind of competitively since like Halo 2, and I've always sniped in every single game. Halo 3, 4, Call of Duties, and just every game that I've played, so I'm kind of used to it. I'm sure most of you are already from my Instagram here on YouTube, but if you're not already following me on Instagram, go check me out on there. It's my same thing as my YouTube name. I post a lot of my clips on there. Quick scopes, no scopes, all these scopes. So anyway, if you watched all 18 minutes of this, thank you. I don't know what to do.